I will get started, and somehow I will try to keep track on the comments. So the schedule, what do you say, is like 5-minute story. I will show you some prototypes and the upcoming news with Hajka, and that is 5 minutes and 10 minutes, and then the Q&A is something like 40 minutes if that is necessary that time, and I'll wrap up with 5 minutes. I can start with showing the cake I made like 30 minutes ago. It's with a new heat distributor. What? So here is the new, I will show it later as well. The new heat distributor looks like this. It has it's the same idea as the old one. And the old one is actually better in a way, but this is more compact. And here is the, as you see, so I will see how it looks like. This is 35 minutes of baking time. I guess like 18 grams of gas being used. Oh, here's the heat distributor, as you see. Like this. I actually made some tests yesterday with that showed that the amount of grease, like the more fat, the more grease you put in the pan, in the baking tin, the more it tends to be burned, like to get like somehow like the fat in this case was some butter. Somehow it creates like something happens when you use a lot of butter anyway. Like my guess was that if you had a lot of butter, it would like prevent burning, but it's somehow the opposite. So I guess that's another topic for another webinar or another stream, like how to get the prevent or get the perfect crust and so on. But anyway, like for information, the more butter you put in the baking tin, the more burned it will get somehow. So the story, as you know, like there are other outdoor stoves, outdoor ovens on the market, and most of them are either too big or too heavy and so on, or they have a hole in the middle, as you know. And as I'm a curious person, I wanted to like one day I had this vision, like I didn't really understand that like this hole in the middle. I used one of the ovens with a hole in the middle. I was supposed to make a pizza, and then I had to cut out the hole in the pizza to put it in there, and so it was very complicated. So I got to sleep, and then I thought like, okay, must be a way to like remove the hole. So me and my friend at that time, or like we were two people, me and my started this project. So, but at the moment I'm, although like a year ago, since a year, I'm alone in the project. But we started to like with some prototypes. Here's like one of the first prototypes. This is a Trangia kettle. We made a lid out of the same. Well, it's a pot, yeah. As you see, the first hangers, different holes in the bottom for airflow and so on. And here was this is the second prototype. And the hard thing to figure out, so to say, that it was like the heat distribution. I mean, as the heat enters the oven, like from below, then how do you like prevent the bottom from of the cake, whatever, from getting burned? So that's why it took like, I think, we baked somehow like about like 200 sponge cakes during 3 years, like to find the correct heat distribution. And the sponge cake itself is like, it's perfect because you will, as it's it contains sugar, and it's what do you say? Yeah, you can see where it gets burned and so on, really easy. And with the sugar, it gets burned if it's not done in the correct way. So we made like 200 sponge cakes. This is like a prototype of a heat. This is the prototype. This one, made of aluminium and stainless steel and some screws and stuff. And here's another one made of stainless steel and screws and so on. Like these 200 sponge cakes, we did find out like the different, the distance, the air gap, and the materials. I'm checking the comments. So, and yeah, here's another thing. Here was like one of the early 3D printed. Everything is green here, right? One of the early 3D printed Hajkas. The holes in the bottom, that's some kind of windshield, like some an idea of a windshield in a way. Didn't really work out. There's the inside and the lid. This was a lid with a silicone knob somehow that you could lift and so on. And here's a prototype of the hanging system. So one of several. And as you know, the first version had the spring, or like the wire one, and now it ended up looking like this for now, hopefully for a long time. So any questions about the story? Heat deflector, true. So that was then the story why I wanted to make like an oven without a hole in the middle to put the pizza and a toast or whatever. My opinion were and is still that the hole in the middle is not necessary. So upcoming news for Hajka is like the pizza steel or the baking steel will be thinner. It will be 1 millimeter instead of 1.5. I did some testing, and the result is as good or better, and it reduces the weight of the whole Hajka. And more, I know that I guess that this information I will give you now, it might disappoint or even, I don't know. I just say it. For the standard Hajka, I will remove the plate and replace it with a steel plate like this. The reason is you put it in like this. As you see, like that. The reason, and here's the baking, the oven grate as well. Oven grate. The reason is, like, I've done a lot of testing, and it seems like that the plate with this pretty small air gap prevents like cakes and other things to get like color on the top, as well as pizzas. So with a stainless plate, a smaller plate, the air gap will be bigger, meaning the airflow on this side will be better, will prevent burning from the bottom, and get like more color on the top. So what do you say? Nothing. So that's the idea in a way. It's gonna be like that, though. You will be able to buy the stainless steel plate as an accessory, and another new thing in the store would be this aluminium plate to be used as a whatever, I mean, pizza plate, or yeah, you can make a pie or whatever, and that will be in aluminium then. Some questions. When the new plate becomes available, will it? Yeah, of course. Oyster Pirate. Pirate. That was fun, huh? When will the new plate become available? Will it we'll be able to buy separately? Yes, of course. And the interesting thing with the new plate is, where is the pizza plate go? I mean, all of us, we are struggling, not struggling, but we want the perfect pizza, right? So the heat shield combined with this, I mean, it's a heat shield as well. The second heat shield and the pizza plate, it's like the perfect combination. Like that. Stainless plate. I mean, you can use the stainless plate and put the pizza plate on top of it, like this. But then the airflow will be less than if you skip the plate like this, or if you use the stainless plate, the new one, like this. Yeah, Jenny Butler says, yeah, I see the logic, and browning of the top is an issue. Yeah, and browning of the top is, yeah, you want like a better airflow to get better airflow to get more heat to the top. And with the new yeah, the replacement for the stainless plate, here are the pegs, so to say, that creates a gap. You see it like this. So I think with this plate, and with the new oven grate, the baking tin itself will be, I think it's 5 millimeter higher than before, and that prevents burning from the bottom and will give you more browning on the top. So I guess like it will be the next shipping. The next batch will be available in. It will be possible to order like next week, and will be delivered mid or like in the end of December. And other news is the grill grate, 1 millimeter stainless steel. Put it in. Like the pizza plate. And with the air gap here, you get like a pretty good airflow, and you can bake. I mean, it's a grill, so to say. You can use it in combination like with the stainless plate, like this, or without. The advantage with the stainless plate is, of course, if there food, whatever fat is drips down, then you can put this one in the dishwasher. Can we just buy the new parts to use with the current oven? Yeah, that's the thing. That's the idea. So I mean, the measurements of the new, or like this is the latest version. So all of these, everything will fit your the old oven. I showed them on Instagram a week ago, and this is I don't know what should I call them. I mean, I told my my girlfriend, I said like I created these pizza racers. Well, she didn't like the name, so we need a name for them. The things that lifts the pizza plate somehow. So you can comment with a name, a name that would be. I don't know if it has to be described product or whatever, but a name for the pizza plate lifters. You put them in like this. I want to show it closer. They are made of 3 millimeter stainless steel. See, like this. From the side, it's like that. And you put the pizza plate on top. Well, like this. It's about 20 millimeters, and that makes a really big difference. Like with browning, and it prevents the pizza from being burnt. These can be used in combination with a stainless plate, like this. Or, I mean, you can even put the oven grate below and cook some fish or whatever at the same time. Wow, come on. Like this. Or put the grill grate on top, so you have like 2 oven grates or 2 grill grates. And can it be used in combination with the old? Of course. There is the old, the plate. And the pizza plate. As another feature is that you can, I don't know how to show this, it's like mirrored, so that's why it's a bit complicated to, you can put them like this. You see? You put them horizontal, like that. And then you can put the plate on top. Okay. Pizza riser, yeah. Daniel Pidge says pizza elevation device. Pizza plate spaces, levitators. Pizza space adapter. Pizza adapter, not bad. Will this be available to watch later? I hope so. This is my first stream on YouTube, so I guess somehow it will be recorded. So, yeah, I guess so. Johan says, like, I have the first version of Hajka with the wire system, and he asked if it works with the new system, with the new gadgets, and it does not, but you can mail me and I can send you like the new parts, and then it will work, because the lid and the bottom part is the same, and then I can arrange for you like with new parts, with the new parts that you can use all the new accessories. Is there anything else here? Yeah. So, like for the very first 100 Hajkas, I ordered the baking tins with a special coating, and both the baking tin and the coating is made in Sweden. And somehow we made like a bigger baking tin, like in the early process. And then the Swedish company that makes the baking tin, he chose the wrong baking tin, the wrong tool. So I made like 120 baking tins. They were too big, and they were also coated. So this is the baking tin. It was made in the wrong way, and it's bigger, as you see. So it's like 10 millimeters, something like too big. It was an early prototypes. So I have like 120 of them. They are bigger. I guess it's like 300 or 200 milliliters extra. So I will sell them as in a kit with a aluminium tin that is non-coated. So it will be shipped like this. It will come in the shop, hopefully later next week. Meaning it's like a bigger baking tin in combination with a with a clean aluminium baking tin, the same size as this one, and they will be packed and shipped like this. Pizza jacks. Do I have any more updates? Yeah. These are the new heat distributors. This one is made of aluminium, and this one is made of stainless steel. So which one do you prefer, the stainless steel or the aluminium? Before you answer, the one in aluminium is like 10 times better. And I guess, but you cannot put it in the dishwasher. And some, as I understand it, like some people do not like raw aluminium in the food, but it's kind of 10 times better. Like the heat distribution is 10 times better than this one in stainless steel. They will be delivered flat as the other one, and you just, and they are 2 millimeter instead of 3 millimeter. So you bend them pretty easy like this. And compared to the old one, this one, I mean, this one is actually better, since like it's the area here is bigger, so the heat distribution will be better, but it's not as compact. So I guess like a more compact version is somehow, in the long run better. And this is made of 3 millimeter aluminium, and this is made of 2 millimeter aluminium. So the 3 millimeter aluminium is pretty hard to bend. I've got some comments for that. So I mean, the 2 millimeter, it's easier to bend anyway. And I guess with this one doesn't not really fit in the baking tin. Not as good anyway, like when you pack the whole Hajka. So this will fit better. Aluminium is better to move heat. That's the thing. So a question for you then is like, should I? Because I would use the aluminium one since it's better. I think it's 10 times. It distributes heat 10 times better than the stainless steel. But so the question is, should I go for like only the aluminium or an aluminium and a stainless steel? For me, I would prefer the aluminium. Four votes for aluminium. Because I will get one thing. Like if you're into baking, and especially if you bake cakes, like sponge cakes, to for decoration and so on, then you use this kind of stuff. They are made of stainless steel, and you put them in the baking tin to prevent the cake, if it's a really high cake, to prevent it from, I don't know what you call it, sogging, or like, it should be evenly baked in a way. And they are made of stainless steel and not aluminium. So, but the heat distribution is not as good. But anyway, that's why I had the idea of like, perhaps you should use one in stainless steel as well, since most of them, all of them are made of stainless steel, the one you can buy in the store. Yeah, Johan Nyholm says like we have been using aluminium in the Tranja for 40 years and are still alive. Yeah, and I guess like if you use aluminium 40 times a year, it doesn't really matter. I guess like if you cook every meal every day, 3 times a day, whatever, then I guess like you can get some consequences, perhaps or perhaps not. So yeah, as James Brown says, like make the aluminium one small enough to nest in the kit. Yeah, that was the idea. Because like when you have the baking tin, and put it in this one. Yeah, but this one does actually fit. Anyway, yeah. But this one anyway is smaller. So you think this one is too small? I mean, for me, this is a pretty neat size, this one. And you can as well use several in a baking tin like this. I mean, you can fit several like this. But what do you say? Is it like, how important is it that it's small, the heat distributor, like this? The ceramic bowl pending. Oh, a ceramic bowl got bent by the handle delivered by the Hajka. Aha. Yeah, the handle delivered by me, the Hajka handle, is like bent. I can show you. So what I did with the handle is, I did bend the front whatever hooks like that, as well as clamping them onto a 1.5 millimeter pizza plate like this to make this gap bigger. And then you should use it in combination with, with the silicone tube like this. So the problem is if you do not bend the front hooks or teeth, whatever, then what will happen is that you will bend the material like this. But by bending the front one, but the front teeth hook like this, so it comes in front of the other, you won't bend the metal. I hope that was an answer to the question. So, but if you have a new Tranja, you have to bend them like sideways and press them like this onto something that is like 1.5 or 2 millimeters thick to widen the gap. More legs seems more effective, yeah, as you say, James Brown. Yeah, it is more effective. So yeah, perhaps I could make a. Yeah, the idea could perhaps be to make a smaller version of this instead, like like something small like this, this size somehow, but with 3 legs could be an option. when you produce them, you want to save material. So I mean, if you would put the arms like this, as a evenly distributed, it would be not as effective. So I guess then somehow it would be a version that is like this one, the old one, but smaller, and in 2 millimeters. Then that could be an option. Why did you change the design of the heat distributor from squared to the gem? Yeah, the idea was like I wanted to make a smaller one, since like if you put I wanted it to be smaller, neater, better looking. And if you put the pizza plate like this, you know that you can put the pizza plate, and then you can put the baking tin on top, right? And as far as I know, you cannot then. True, yeah. If you put the baking plate and the baking tin on top, then the old distributor, or the current distributor, will be higher than the baking tin, meaning that the lid won't go on. I mean, it's the lid won't fit like this. But with a lower heat distributor, well, like this, then the lid will fit. Daniel says steel might give a magnetic style storage option in the future. Seeing metallic items sliding on a non-stick coating freaks. Seeing a metal item sliding on a non-stick coating freaks me out. Yeah, as you say, Daniel Pidge. But if you bend it, like when they are laser cut, so like one side can have like a rough side or like a sharp side, but the other side is usually pretty smooth. And what you can do is like you can put a piece of baking paper, like a parchment paper, a small piece of parchment paper, and then put this on top to prevent some scratches. Do you sell the handles and silicone tips? Mine did not come with those, and I don't see them on your website. Yeah, the handles will be on the website later, and I will make a note for the silicone tubes. Silicone tubes in web shop, and I guess that will be necessary as well, because they were out. I mean, due to so to say friction and pressure and heat, the silicone, the tubing. So. Yeah, Jenny Butler. Yeah, you have the Primus handle, and they have silicone dots. Oyster Per say, yeah, the lower legs definitely has a benefit. Taller distribution allowed my cake to rise as seen on my ginger cake. I posted on Facebook. Yeah. Perhaps I should have two versions of the heat distributor. I don't know, but actually the cake I showed you before, it was made with a slightly higher heat distributor. You see the difference? It's like 1.5 or almost 2 centimeters. And the benefit with a higher heat distributor is, I will see if I can put it back again. Like that. As you see on the cake, like the benefit with a higher heat distributor is that it gets heat like from the bottom, of the baking tin, and from the hot air in the top. So with a shorter heat distributor, I guess there will be less heat from the air that goes into the aluminium and then into the cake. So yeah, but as I said, like if they are as high as the current ones, you cannot put it like this. So I don't know, perhaps I should have 2 versions. Yeah, I saw the ginger cake in the Facebook group and it was like pretty solid. Huh? So any more questions about the things I've showed you? Yeah, and I also like raised a question about like changing the lid to a one in wood somehow. Don't know. Not as compact, but perhaps less flimsy. I mean, this is. Yeah, so the question is, I guess, like, what do you think about the handle? Could it be done in another way? Does it have any flaws, or like, could it be done in a better way? Oyster says, wonder if you could offer a spacer ring to lift the lid for higher items, whole chicken roast. Yeah. So right now there are 2 students who are working on a project to make what's the working name is like cannot be lid raiser, like I don't know, the working name is something like Hajka elevation thing, and that is so. Anyway, two students in Eskilstuna, Västerås, are working on a way to put 2. I will do like this. Yeah, a way to put 2 baking tins on top of each other like this. And what you have to do then is like to create some kind of metal, like a sheet that connects to the lid, and somehow like a spacer for the baking tins. But usually, I guess you won't use like 2 baking tins like this. Rather, it would be that you used, let's say, 1 baking tin like this, and perhaps, the grill grate or something else, or perhaps that you use the oven grate like this, and put whatever, let's say, some food, potatoes, and that you somehow, with this lid raiser, will be able to put the tin on top. So that's the idea anyway. plus one for riser ring. Yeah. So that's with my concurrent with the Omnia. The Omnia has a bigger volume, not twice the volume, but it's bigger anyway. So I mean that's a downside with the Hajka oven, that the baking tin is smaller. So this, by adding like a riser ring, we can call it riser ring, you will it will expand the volume, the baking volume of the Hajka. And the cool or whatever clever thing about that is you can, by baking two things at the same time, let's say potatoes and fish or potatoes and vegetables, I guess the amount of fuel, gas being used could be like, I guess, 20% extra if you bake two things at once. So you will reduce cooking time in total, instead of like baking like the fish first and then the potatoes. So by baking them at the same time, you will reduce cooking time, and you will reduce the amount of gas being used. So, and my guess is that you only have to raise the lid something like, like 5 centimeters to make a reality of this. And the problem, the razor, so to say, it has to be foldable, or anyway, somehow you have to be able to store it inside the stove, inside the Hajka. So that's what they are trying to solve anyway. Thermometer, yeah. According to the group, you want an analog thermometer, right? I'm using a digital one. I can get it. For me, a digital one works better, I have to say, but I put it. It's one of these, and I have a silicone tube like that, and put it in the. So the silicone tube prevents it from go all the way. So on the inside, it just pops out like that. And I use it to check the temperature, like before I put in the cake, to see that they have the correct effect and so on. So this one goes to 250, I guess. And so I can see like approximately how the temperature anyway. And with this one, I can also use it. Here's the cake, like for bread, for example, or chicken, or else you put it inside, and you see the temperature to see if it's cooked or not. But as I got it in the Facebook group, like 70 or 80% wanted like an analog thermometer. I guess I have one here. Like this one. This one, the one I bought, I think, yeah. Then the hole is too big, so I guess I have to find another one that has a smaller diameter. You can as well drill the hole if you like, but the problem with this one for me is that you cannot use it like you cannot really put it in a cake like that. And for me, it's harder to read the numbers, or to read the numbers than the digital one. But I guess that's a personal preference. The downside with this one, I mean, it's bigger. There are foldable ones, so that you can fold the whole one. But it has batteries, and well, I guess like this one will last longer than a digital one. Thermometer, I would lose a removable handle. I would love to help with the project. Yeah, yeah. I will mail you, Jenny. Or I will give your mail to the student in Eskilstuna. Omnia thermometer work also fine on the Hajka. There is one I bought from folding firebox stoves. It doesn't reach so far into the oven. It is required to drill a hole. Yeah, I mean that's the clever thing with the aluminium lid, that I mean you can drill, you can make a bigger hole if you like, and if you use the thermometer a lot like this, you can drill another hole on the side or somewhere anyway, to let the moisture out. Because what this hole does, apart from to be used with a thermometer, is that some moisture gets out here that browns the cake better. So that's the thing. Like a cake, the physics, or is it chemistry? Yeah, the physics with the cake is like how to get browning on the cake is that, I mean, you heat the mix and it raises, and to get the browning on the top, you have to remove the moisture like on top of the cake. So sometimes it can be clever, like during, like in the end of the bake, like to remove the lid a few times to get rid of excess moisture. So anyway, if you tend to use like a thermometer like this in the lid, then it won't go out any moisture in the hole. So if you use a thermometer like this, perhaps you can, I mean, then you can add like another hole on the side. If you make a ricer for the oven, you can get some inspiration. If you make a ricer for the oven, you can get some inspiration if you look up for an adjustable cake ring. True. Yeah, as you say, done is on wheels. The adjustable cake rings, yeah. I think one of the students, they had this on the sketchboard somehow, like a cake ring with it's a wire thing that like on the side that connects it, that somehow connects it like this. So that could be an option anyway. Yeah, so I hope for like that they come up with a great idea, the students. That was so I mean, I have some ideas like for the lid raiser, but I guess like if two other brains think of the same thing, I guess like we can come out with a even better idea somehow. Like with these, when you have ideas, like you work on a project like this, you get very close to the project, so you have to bring in people and like thoughts, because like you somehow you get rather narrow in your thinking, and like you assume that you have tried everything, but like then you bring someone in and they say, oh, why don't you do it this way instead? And so you get very close to the product, and you get like sometimes pretty like emotional, whatever, if you work with this whatever for a few weeks, and like then you really want to, it somehow becomes like your baby and you want to protect it at all costs, but you need some advice and other people's thoughts for sure. So any more questions? So I've showed you the new heat reflector like that. the new oven grate. It's mirrored, that's why. The new oven grate. The grill grate. The pizza plate that is like 1 millimeter instead of 1.5. For you who have the current 1.5 millimeter, it doesn't really matter. It's only a weight issue. So what else we spoke? I showed you the heat distributors, the new and the old one. I showed you the pizza razors, the pizza, these ones. And perhaps, I mean, if you think of another use for them, I guess you can just mail me. I mean, as you saw, you can use them in the square holes like that, and you can flip them like this. But I guess there might be another use of them. I don't know. If you put them in another direction, I don't know. Perhaps you can come up with something. Hajka Cookbook, yeah. Johan Holm says, yeah, for sure. And it's just a way of how to, so to say, what's the, so the idea is like that it should be done in May, something next year, April or May. And it will contain like, let's say 40 or 50 of the most common recipes like pizzas and cakes and pies and so on, perhaps focusing on like basic recipes where you can add your, like a sponge cake in this case, where you can add your topping and spices, whatever, as well as like tips on how like to get the perfect browning and prevent burning in the bottom, and somehow, yeah, pretty educational, I would say, with like add-ons for inspiration. That's the idea, I guess. Like, but the big question with the cookbook is like, it could be a digital one for sure. Would you like to buy a digital one or a print one? How big should it be? Like the former books I made, they are, where are they? Yeah, I can get one. It's a Finnish version of the Fjällmat, the mountain food book. So I guess like, and this is like a soft cover, as you see. So yeah, I have to decide if it should be like a hardcover, but that is more expensive, meaning it will be more expensive to buy in the end. And the size, and if like this one, I mean, it has like color photos and so on, like as you see, and like color photos is always more. Yeah, the printing cost is higher with colors than if it's black and white. So I mean, it's a question to you is like, is photos necessary? One, and two is, do they have to be in color? And can it be a soft cover instead of a hard cover? And the size, I mean, if you compare, I can show you. Yeah, here's the lid, and here's the Hajka. Should it fit inside the Hajka? Then it has to be very small, as this one. I mean, this one does fit within the Hajka. That's the cookbook. should it like fit inside a Hajka? Okay. More recipes, base plate, and use. Let's see. A book that fits my pocket. Same size as the Trangia cookbook, so they can be on the shelf. Yeah, the Trangia cookbook size is pretty good, I have to say. Yeah, it's kind of A5. Yeah, and digital book, easier to update, and you can print what you like. The photos, color, spiral bound. Photos, yes. Colors, yes. Digital, soft. Digital with color photos. Picture books. Small. So what I read here is like rather, smaller than this one, but perhaps not this size. And you want colors. So there's a question. Any tips for using with a spirit burner? Seems really hot without the simmering, but not hot enough with it, even fully open. Spirit and in general is pretty hard, since the spirit does warm up after a while, after a few minutes, and then the effect somehow goes up. So I don't know. I guess you need the simmering for the with alcohol, but you say that with the simmering, I would let the try. I don't know if you did that. Like you used the alcohol, the burner for a few minutes without the simmering. That means like the alcohol gets warmer, and it's more. Yeah, it gets warmer, and with the effect will be the bigger, and then you put on the simmering after a few minutes. That could be a thing. More recipes, ideas to use with Hajka Oven. I will put, that's the thing when you like us, when you do something on your own. I mean, package or pack all the ovens and distribute them and everything. There was less time than expected for like making recipes, but somehow I will carve out time to put some recipes on online. Can you make a base plate and use for the heat distributor? Says Denison Wheels. Can you explain what you mean? No. Can you explain what you mean, Denison? Like, can you make a base plate and use for the heat distributor? For the pizza packs, okay. Somehow use them. I don't really get get it. Are there any more questions? Photos, like a picture book. Happy for owners to contribute. Sure. Daniel Pidge, 6199 says, I mean, this project, I mean, you started, I mean, we were two people, and then right now I'm alone. But the whole thing with Hajka, like as I realized, I mean, you cannot do a thing like this on your own. So, like this one is made of Indian shopping by Per. As well as this one, as well as this one. Like I spoke to him this Friday, so and his brothers, they are making them in their factory in Jönköping. And this one, and the coating is made in Småland with my contact person Håkan, for example, and so on. So like there's a lot of people involved in the production, and the boxes that the last batch, it was 300 boxes. Like my daughter, she folded them, and my dad, he was a part of the packing the Hajkas for the last batch, and so on. So like there's a lot of people involved. This is not something you can do on your own. So as you say, Daniel. I mean, I would love to have some that you would contribute with recipes and images, and perhaps some stories, like who you are and like how you bake and so on. So perhaps the whole concept of the book could be that I don't know, could be like 100 recipes, like from 100 different persons, Hajka users all over the world, with like an image and their favorite recipe and so on. That could be an idea. Spiral bound. If it will lay open on your selected page. Not pretty clever, Oyster Pirate. Yeah, as you say, yeah, spiral bound is pretty clever. Here is one. True. I mean, you can put it like this, whatever side. It's not. It's pretty clever. I mean, compared to this one, I mean, it won't stay open unless if you don't. I mean, you have to like really abuse it like that. And the thing is, like, the smaller the book, the harder like to open it fully. So as you say, like a spiral bound, it's not bad. It's super easy to put it on the table, as you say. You asked earlier for a dual use for the pizza risers. Can they be used for the heat distributor? Aha. Oh, true. I get it now, Denison. Aha. So I mean, if you as somehow if you would have a base plate and then put the pizza risers like that, yeah, would be great. They are made of stainless steel. That's the problem then. But I get the idea. It's not a bad idea. Like that, yeah. True. Perhaps the base plate could be made of aluminium or something. Yeah. So, yeah, we're running over time, but I got a lot of insights and like feedback from me, and I will read the comments afterwards. And as I said, like developing and like a product like this, I mean, you can do it on your own without asking anyone else. Like, but somehow the product gets like 10 times better if you ask the users or like people in general. People that are the bake outdoors and the people that are camping and so on, as I do now. So I mean, when I'm in the workshop, actually we can have a tour in the workshop as an ending. But when I'm in the workshop, I mean, somehow I get my sight is like, my vision is pretty like narrow, and like when I get a mail from you or like talk to you somehow, like every time I do that, I get some insights, and like, yeah, my vision is being widened. Digital cookbook edition, so campers can take it. Yeah, true. So it could be like digital and spiral bound, perhaps. Yeah. Use a spirit burner with the oven, creating a thermal mass barrier. A stone or 2 pan stacked with salt bottom. True. Could be a stone in the bottom. A thin pizza stone, perhaps. Icy Bolt says, I have the Hajka Oven, an early one. Can I buy the new accessory as well? You need this plate. So, but you can mail me at shop@hajkaoven.com, and I can arrange like a new plate for you. So, as a wrap up, I will show you the where I'm. This is where I pack all the ovens, storage and stuff. Here's the kitchen. Whoa. And this is where the magic happens. Like all the tools and so on. Prototyping. Here's like some prototypes for the new Hajka Compact that will come, I don't know, next year, whatever. Here's some test baking, you see. And here's where I test all the new things and test recipes and so on this plate. This is what it looks like. This is where I spend where I spend like at least 5 hours every day with new inventions and packing Hajkas and so on. Okay, I will end the stream now, but if you have more questions, you can mail me at shop@hajkaoven.com.